Celtic or Rangers? Rangers or Celtic? Where will Lennon Miller end up? Well, according to his dad Lee, it might not be any of them at the moment because his son is focused on playing as many games as possible. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. A lot of speculation around Lennon Miller at the moment. Both Old Firm clubs very interested in signing the Motherwell wonder kid. And I think it is fair to call Lennon Miller a wonder kid. It's been a long, long time since we've seen a young Scottish player as highly rated as Lennon Miller. So yeah, right now he's impressing everybody, and it's normal. It's absolutely normal and probably expected that the best two clubs in Scotland, the top two teams in the country, are both interested in signing Lennon Miller. However, according to his dad Lee, Lennon Miller's only focus right now is staying at Motherwell, and that he wants to stay at Motherwell and rack up as many games as possible in order to improve and enhance his career. And I agree with that. There's literally no point Lennon Miller going to a different club, moving to a bigger club and getting a bigger salary and all this stuff if he's just going to be sitting on the bench, if he's not going to be having minutes and he's not going to be improving as a player. And also we have former Rangers man Craig Moore, who believes that Rangers are the favourites in signing Lennon Miller. And his reasoning for that, I mean, it's pretty basic, it's pretty self-explanatory, and we'll get into that in a minute. But in terms of what Lennon Miller's dad had to say, Lee went on to say how he's already turned down both sides of the Old Firm, and that the only thing his son cares about is playing regular first team football. Lee Miller said, quote, "There has always been talk of Rangers and Celtic being in for Lennon since he was 10 or 11 years old. We have always maintained, look, you're in the right place, you're thriving, and I think playing on a smile on your face, having people you trust and enjoy playing football with is really important. He's not interested in going anywhere else right now in terms of what he wants to rack up as many games as possible. Yeah, that time will probably come, and he wants to play at the highest level. But I go through different scenarios with him all the time. Think if this happened, this could happen, in different situations, and he's got ambition. He's got massive ambition. He wants to be a Scottish international, play at the highest level. The way he's going just now, he will do that, but there's no rush for that, and he understands that well." End of quote. So, no rush according to his dad Lee. He says that he's turned down Celtic and Rangers before at an earlier age, and that he's happy at Motherwell, he's content at Motherwell, and that he believes one day he will be at a bigger club, he will be at the highest level, at an international level, but he doesn't need to leave Motherwell right now in order to accomplish that, which I agree. I don't think Miller needs to leave right now, but with only 18 months left on his contract, I see it happening sooner rather than later. If Miller had 3-4 years left, then I think we could see Miller stay maybe to the end of this season, possibly even next. But with the time remaining on his contract, I think that Motherwell will be looking to cash out. And if they do not cash out in January, I 100% believe they will cash out in the summer. They have to. Motherwell cannot afford to let Lennon Miller leave for nothing. Now, who knows? If Lennon Miller is willing to sign a contract, then he could stay there. But I think that is very unlikely to happen. When you're as good as Lennon Miller is at Lennon Miller's age, he's unlikely to commit himself to Motherwell, for a good number of years. But who knows? Maybe an extension. An extension could be possible with a bumped up, contract. That could happen, and it would be good for Lennon Miller because he'd be getting a better wage, and it would be good for Motherwell because they could add an extra year or whatever onto Miller's contract, and they could demand more money when it comes to the transfer. But Craig Moore was speaking on his podcast, the Go Radio show, and he said the following regarding whether Lennon Miller will be at Celtic or Rangers. And for him, it all came down to the amount of minutes that Brendan Rodgers and Philippe Clement can respectively offer. Lennon Miller. So he said, quote, Lennon Miller has had a fantastic season, and currently I think he could walk into the Rangers midfield area and continue to play there for his development, which would be ongoing. Interesting time for Lennon Miller in terms of decisions. There has got to be a lot of interest. It's just not from Celtic and Rangers. There are likely to be a lot of interest from other clubs. But I think the benefit of playing games has been really crucial for him, and he will look to find a similar situation where he is continuing to play matches. Motherwell are going to cash in at some stage. Whether that is January, we will find out soon enough. End of quote. But Craig Moore indicating that he believes Rangers are more likely because Lennon Miller, unlike Celtic, will walk into that Rangers team. And I think that's undeniable. You look at Rangers, you look at Celtic. Lennon Miller could potentially walk into the Celtic team. It could happen. I don't think he'd walk in terms of he would sign and automatically be in the Celtic midfield. However, I believe over the course of the season, he could become a regular player. He could become a member of the starting 11. But with Rangers, it's like he doesn't almost need to earn it. You've got the feeling that with Rangers, he would go straight in. It would be his spot to lose. Whereas at Celtic, he'd need to earn it. But with Rangers, he would pretty much just be given it because he's a lot better than what they currently have. Whereas with Celtic, you know, they've got a number of midfielders that you feel are currently ahead of Lennon Miller. You've got Cal McGregor, you've got Hatate, you've got the £11 million man Engels, you've got Bernardo, who people love. Not saying Lennon Miller isn't better than them. I'm not saying Lennon Miller hasn't got better potential than them, but I think it's unlikely that Lennon Miller just comes in and in his very first game, Brendan Rodgers says to Engels, sorry, I know you cost £11 million, but I'm going to play this 18-year-old Scottish guy in front of you. That's just not going to happen. Whereas at Rangers, I think there's a very good chance that Lennon Miller comes in and in his first game, he gets a start for Rangers because he is a lot better than what they currently have. But anyway, guys, that's it. My prediction, Lennon Miller will probably... I think that Lennon Miller will leave Motherwell in January, but I think he will be loaned straight back to them. So essentially, I think he will officially sign a deal with someone in January, but I think there will be a loan back option and he will finish the season as a loan player at Motherwell. That's what I think is going to happen. Well, I think it's going to be Celtic or Rangers. I'm leaning more towards Celtic, because if Rangers get him, then they probably wouldn't want to loan him back. They'd probably want to keep him. But Motherwell, maybe they'd be willing to take less money if they can keep him till the end of the season. And Rangers, we know, don't have much money, and they need to do whatever they can in order to try and save, a few quid here and there. So it's going to be interesting to see, but for sure Lennon Miller's a great player, great future ahead of him, and both Celtic and Rangers will be really lucky to have him. But obviously I think Rangers at this moment in time need them a little bit more. Anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Beanfog Football, thanks for watching, and peace.